Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to show you pretty much my entire collection of TV shows on DVD mostly, and maybe a little bit of Blu-ray. Most of it I have on DVD right now. But if you like what you see here, please consider subscribing to the channel. I thank you very much. I'll have other TV videos and a lot of movies, probably way more movies than TV. But while I was looking around here, I noticed there were some things I couldn't find that I knew I had. One of them was probably the only animated series that I might have. It's Popeye the Sailor, the first volume of that. So I couldn't find that. And as you watch this, there are going to be TV shows that you're going to say, why doesn't he have this? Why doesn't he have that? Well, some of them, because I just don't have the same interest as you might. But the other reason is because some of them I'm waiting for better editions. For example, there is no Twilight Zone here you're going to see, even though I really like the Twilight Zone. And the reason for that is over the years, I've had a lot of different incarnations of the releases on DVD and so forth. But I wanted to get the Blu-ray set, the ultimate Blu-ray set, which I believe is out. And so I no longer have the more typical DVDs. All right, so let's get started here now. To start, I'll show you this. You're going to find that I don't like a lot of shows from, like, say, the 90s to today. Most of what I like is 50s, 60s, 70s, some 80s, stuff like that. 90s and up, just like with my taste in music, I'm not really a big fan. But this is one of my favorite 90s into the 2000s shows. It's The King of Queens, and this was the first complete series set that came out. Very cool with the IPS truck, very nice design, I think. And what I like especially about it is in the back here, you have this kind of door that opens up, and there's a skid pallet on the bottom, wooden skid kind of design, and all the seasons are stacked up like packages. So, King of Queens, love this show. And I'd like to get it on Blu-ray, and I hear that the Blu-ray just came out, but I've been reading reviews, and a lot of people are saying that a lot of the Blu-rays are getting, like, frozen, and they're skipping, and they're doing problems. That's one of the things, we encounter as collectors, right? When we have certain items, whether it's movies or TV shows, sometimes they tend to skip when you have a big amount together. I don't know why. Maybe they're pressed differently, or they cram too much on. Okay, moving right along, I have complete run almost of All in the Family. All in the Family, we have season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, season 6, and I have season 7 and season 8. Now, they went on after this, but I'm one of those people, I only really am interested when Archie is squaring off with Mike the Meathead. Once Mike and Gloria leave the series, and it's just Archie and Edith alone with that little annoying girl. Not even that she's annoying, Stephanie, the character. She's just boring more than anything. Not so much annoying. She's just a very dull character. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in Archie Bunker's place either. Okay? So, I wound up looking through my DVDs, and I found this. This is kind of funny. I have 2.5 Men, season 6. This is another one of the TV series from recent times that I actually think is funny. I think it's well written, even though it's very crude. I think it's a well written show. Unlike something like that stupid show Two Broke Girls, was just complete garbage. This has a lot of sexual innuendo and stuff, but I find it funny. But the thing about this is only season 6. At some point, I had earlier seasons, and I must have got rid of them. I think what happened was I skipped this one. I liked the show, got rid of it, and now I think I may get them back. I haven't made up my mind yet, because I'm seeing them on reruns, and they're pretty good. Here's the Partridge Family. Yep. Reminds me of being a kid. I only have season 1. Don't know if I'm going to get any season 2 or not. With more recent times, I'm interested in Larry David. I think he's hilarious. I think the show Curb Your Enthusiasm is really a lot of fun. So I have season 1, season 2. These might not be in perfect order. I'm saying the numbers. I hope I have this set up with the right numbers. Season 3, season 4, Season 5. Season 6. I'm looking at the numbers first to make sure they correspond. Season 7. Season 8. And finally, I have Season 9 now. I know that Season 10 has just been aired. I haven't seen it yet. I'll wait till I get the set. Now on to I Love Lucy, one of my favorite sitcoms, maybe the #1 sitcom of all time. I Love Lucy Season 1. Season 2. Season 3. Season 4. Season 5. Season 6. And then they put out the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, which was something a little different, but they called it Season 7, 8, 9 altogether. They had a lot of guest stars on here with a longer hour-long shows instead of half-hour. Okay, sticking with the 50s, I have the classic Honeymooners. You know, the so-called classic 39 episodes, which everybody knows and loves. This may be the only Blu-ray I have right now as far as TV shows. I could be wrong, but I think it's the only Blu-ray that I have. And as great as the classic 39 are, you have to have this if you're a Honeymooners fan. The Lost Episodes, this is the complete Lost Episodes. I mean, this is a huge set, and there are 15 discs in here. And, you know, there are 107 Honeymooners live episodes in here. I mean, if you love 39 classics, why are you depriving yourself of these? You may say they're not done as well. There are a lot of gems in here that you're missing, folks. Take it from a true Honeymooners fan, okay? And I did a whole video on that. If you want to search on my channel, I talked about the whole Honeymooners. And although these aren't really necessary with the Honeymooners, I still have them anyway because I'm kind of a completist. Here is the color Honeymooners when they got together later on. This is collection number 4. This is collection number 3. Collection 2. These are pretty pricey, these ones, as I remember. I don't know if they're still pricey. Collection 1. And there were also some TV specials. This is one called Valentine's Special when they reunited in the 70s. You know, so they went from like 1951 or something to like 78 or something like that. And Second Honeymoon. So I'm a completist pretty much with the Honeymooners. I forgot to show these when I was showing I Love Lucy. I also have a couple of seasons of the Lucy Show. Lucy went on to do this show called The Lucy Show after, you know, she was not starring with Desi Arnaz anymore. But you got Vivian Vance makes a return. So I like Vivian Vance and Lucy together. I got season 1 and season 2 of The Lucy Show. So I may get more of these. I really like these up until the point where Vivian Vance leaves the series. I tried watching some episodes of an even later show called Here's Lucy. I didn't think that was as good. Okay, now for something a little different here, I have Dirty Jobs. This is a show that's interesting. Mike Rowe, he's a lot of fun. He's a very personable guy, and he shows you what it's like to do a lot of different kinds of jobs. He kind of hangs out with people and goes through their day with them, working with them, with some of the worst jobs and how they do things. It's kind of educational in addition to fun. So, okay, let's go back to the 50s one more time. This is the Abbott and Costello. It's the complete TV series. This is really a nice box set. Highly recommended. If you like Abbott and Costello, Bud and Lou, cannot be without this box. Next up, we have the complete series of Sanford and Son. I haven't gone through every episode yet. I watched half of them. I like the show. I always liked the show, so I got that really cheap. This isn't really a TV series, you know. I was going to show my Three Stooges, because the Three Stooges, I have everything the Three Stooges did, pretty much, you know, short subjects and movies, but I didn't bother showing them because I have to yank them all out, and it's a pain in the neck. But I did get this to show just because these are shorts also. Little Rascals, Our Gang, really comedies. Thing about this is it was so great to have all of these together in one set. Now, depending on how fanatical you want to get over these, I'll tell you that I thought some of the picture quality was kind of poor originally. It was kind of artifacting all over the place. So what I did was there were individual sets that came out. And I wound up taking those individual sets. I bought the individual sets, and I thought these were a little better. They were in volumes, like volume 7 and so forth. And I wound up putting them in here. Also, I will say on this set, one of the episodes, sadly, is cut. It's an episode called Washi Irony. And the reason it's cut is because of Asian stereotypes. But at the time, that's, you know, what they did. So, but luckily, I have this spare disc because there was a set that came out, Little Rascals. I don't know, it was just called the Little Rascals, and it had Washi Irony on it. It was intact, uncut. So I put this in the sleeve, and I make sure that I stick this in here so I can get it the right way, instead of it being sliced and diced. Now, I am a huge fan of the Munsters. And this is the best box you want for this. It was on an inferior earlier edition, but this is really good. It's got the complete 2 seasons here, but you also get the other stuff here, like the unaired pilot episode, you know, and there's also Family Portrait, which is an episode that's in full color. They actually colorized it. I'm not a big fan of colorization, but they colorized one episode here, and it looks fantastic. And there's also like extra features here. You also have the feature-length movie Munster Go Home, which just came out on Blu-ray, and I don't have, but it's in here, and so forth, and documentaries and stuff. Also, Munsters, I picked this up years earlier. This was an old disc from 2 DVD set, America's First Family of Fright, and it's got a lot of features on here. 4 full-length documentaries, 1.5 hours of bonus footage, all kinds of personal appearances and things. Really good for the Munsters completists. Now, there's that old argument, do you like the Munsters better or the Addams Family better? I've always been a Munsters guy, not big on the Addams Family at all. In fact, the only thing I have here, I have something here called the complete 3rd volume. Not a big fan of the Addams Family, but recently, somebody was throwing these out. These are kind of knockoffs. They're just discs that are, I think, earlier episodes. So I'm able to put them together with this, and I got a good sampling of Addams Family, you know. I'm actually a fan of the Friday the 13th movies with Jason. Now, the series that came out that has nothing to do with Jason, so a lot of people avoided this series, but this is a really good series. Friday the 13th, the series, Volume 1's got nothing to do with the movies. Volume 2, which I have this is Volume 2, excuse me, Volume 2. And this is number 3, which I have not yet opened. I used to watch this on TV. They're really good stories, really interesting. They're about cursed objects that an antique store winds up having to retrieve. You know, people have these cursed objects that do things to people, have special powers, and the heroes have to get them back. They have nothing to do with the movies. The only thing I don't like is the quality on this show, this DVD, is a little on the dark side. They need to, like, I don't know, remaster them or brighten them up a little bit. Kind of murky. Next up, we have one of my favorite 60s science fiction but campy shows. It's Lost in Space. Now, this is something that came out in 2015. It's the most recent edition. It's called The Complete Adventures. This is a crappy cover. Some of the worst packaging. Whenever you talk about bad packaging, this takes the cake. There's no side opening. You have to kind of like pry it open from the top like this. And when you get the top open, inside of these really generic, lousy, you know, volumes here. And what I had to do was, let's just take this one, for example, and open it up. I mean, the picture is nice inside, but it's one of these things where you have to open them up. And it opens up like an accordion. A real pain in the ass. And the discs get shoved into the side pockets. So you got to pull them out of the cardboard and you scratch up all the discs. So what I did was, originally I had these kind of plastic sleeves that I got, and I put the disc safely in the sleeves. But it's still a pain in the ass because, as you can see, I kind of have them all on the sides like this. They don't go, I'm not jamming them back into the cardboard sleeve. So you got to kind of like do it. So get a load of this now. Now here's the fun part. There was a second version of this that came out. This packaging, which is a lot better. This is called the Complete Series. Now, the only thing about these is the discs are inferior to the other ones because this particular one it's not in the original aspect ratio. They take all of the episodes and kind of like make them 16:9 rectangular, so they're not in the original square, 1.33 television aspect ratio. So you get all the wrong aspect ratio. So what I did was I took the superior Blu-ray discs out of here. I should also mention this is a Blu-ray set. That's something that I forgot to say. You know, this one here is a Blu-ray set, so the Blu-ray is superior and it's in the proper screen ratio. But I like this packaging better, so I bought this inferior set just so that I could have all the Blu-ray discs like that. You see what I did? I kind of transferred all the Blu-ray discs into this more handy format. So I don't like changing packaging. You know, I'm kind of like a purist. Like whatever the way it came is the way I like to keep things. But when it comes to this particular set, it made more sense to just put it all in here. So that's what I did. Okay, next up I have the sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond, the complete series, in a box here. And this is a fun show I like to watch with my girlfriend. I can see there's an episode that was missing here. I couldn't find it. I don't know. It's in the house somewhere. But anyway, this has all the shows. So this is another one of those shows from, recent times. When I say recent, I mean 90s and beyond, that I kind of enjoy. A lot of people may ask, where's Seinfeld? Because if I like Curb Your Enthusiasm and I like Everybody Loves Raymond, where's Seinfeld? I think Seinfeld was a really good show. I see it so much on repeats, though, that I don't really have a desire to own it, at least not yet. So that's the answer to that question. Okay, Saturday Night Live used to be a good show back in the 70s and early 80s. So I don't know what happened to season 1. I thought I had season 1, but here's SNL, Saturday Night Live, complete second season. I don't know where the first one is. Here's the complete third season. Now this is a show that's really been going downhill for decades, and the new show absolutely sucks. The new shows, it's unwatchable to me. The complete fourth season, and of course the musical guest today. Complete fifth season. So I only go up to 1980, the fifth season. I got from 75 to 1980. All right. Okay, next up we have a show that I really would like to see more seasons of this particular show. This is a show when I was a kid I used to love American Style. As far as I know, it was only season 1 and season 2. I think this show really hit its stride later on after season 1 and season 2. So, unfortunately, a lot of people know that Love American Style was technically where the show Happy Days really started. We'll get to Happy Days later. I have Happy Days. I meant to show this when I was showing the Everybody Loves Raymond series, but there are 2 seasons here of a spin-off. It's not really a spin-off, I shouldn't say that. It's no way related to Raymond, but it has Brad Garrett and Jolie Fisher in a show called Till Death. And I really thought these two were really good together. I thought it was really funny. It's a show about the 2 older couple like that. You see them in the front and the back. You have a younger couple. They're all hip and they're all in love and everything. They're all have fresh, newlywed love. These two, and these 2 are old, middle-aged people that kind of clash with them. I thought it was a great premise and a great idea. There were 2 seasons of it, and I really like that Jolie Fisher. I really do. I got to tell you. But anyway, Brad Garrett's very funny in this, and the show went on a little longer, I think, but it petered out. Too bad. Okay, here's the Sonny and Cher Ultimate Collection. In the 70s, growing up, there was the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, and this is a sampling of that show. A lot of fun, a lot of now cheesy 70s stuff, but you know, happy stuff, you know, uplifting, you know, smiles, you know, not like today's crap. But speaking of like more modern stuff from like the 2000s and going from happy and sunny to serious and not so pleasant, The Sopranos. Yeah, sure. I like The Sopranos. Love The Sopranos. I don't have every season yet. This is the complete first season. This is the complete second season. Family defined. So there's a big redefined. Family redefined. That's exactly. So here's the third season. And I don't know why I do not have the fourth season. I do not have the fourth season. If I did, maybe it's misplaced, but here's the fifth season. I have never gotten through every episode yet of this show. This one's still sealed. But I have seen the last episode, so, you know, it kind of ruined that for me. Okay, now for some adventure. Adventures of Superman, starring George Reeves, Season 1. The Adventures of Superman, Season 2. And that's all I have. You know, I have to fill out this collection also. But I did find this. This is really, again, it's theatrical serial. It's not really a TV, but as long as I have it in the collection, the Kirk Alyn Superman show from the 40s, I believe, which is, you know, movie serial, really. Next up, a show I used to love watching on Saturday nights, Carol Burnett Show. Carol's Favorites, this is called. It's Time Life. I really wish that somehow I could get just about every episode in full. Vicki Lawrence, Harvey Korman, and Tim Conway. What a pair, you know. And then I have this one here, Carol's Favorites. It's another volume. So I like to somehow get the entire run of that. Here's one that I bought, a show that's in very poor quality. The prints of this are awful. But I bought this because I used to remember watching it on TV, Room 222. This is Season 1. I think they might have put out Season 2 also. This is about, you know, a drama, a little comedy, though very little comedy, but it's mostly a drama about high school. And they used to have this on Friday nights when I was growing up as a kid. Here's Kolchak, the Night Stalker. You know, it's a horror show. He meets all kinds of supernatural creatures and things. I have this on a, I don't know what region it is, region 2 or whatever. It's not a US disc, you can see, right? I have a multi-region player, but it broke. So somewhere along the line, I have to get a new one. I have a lot of movies that I can't play either because of that. So here's a really, really nice show. This Is Your Life with Ralph Edwards. And there are a lot of celebrities down there who are interviewed on here. You have Milton Berle, you have Jane Mansfield, you have Bobby Darin, Johnny Cash, Laurel and Hardy, Shirley Jones, but there are so many more people here, and I could go on forever. But one of the reasons that I really love this is because of Boris Karloff, you know, Betty Davis, you know, Vincent Price, Lou Costello. There's a lot of people here. Okay. Next up, we have The Fugitive, which is a show that I'm really not that familiar with. I'm kind of like watching it as I go along. Now, I do know from a fan who's a big Fugitive fan. This is Season 1. And we have, what we have here. This is Season 1 also, but Volume 2. They split into 2 volumes, make you buy more. But I know from, this is the 4th and final season, Volume 2. I have to get them all in the right order. I don't have them all. But somebody told me who knows the show very well that there was a big controversy. They took the original music out of here and put new music in, which sucks when they do that. But it is what it is. Speaking of screwing around with the music, we have here one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. It's fantastic. You people, if you never saw it, you got to check it out. The Odd Couple with Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. This is Season 1, which is in really great shape as far as being intact and complete. It's very controversial because from Season 2 on, this is Season 2, what they started doing was, because of rights issues, they started trimming some of the music bits out of it. Season 3, Now, what I can tell you about this particular show is, even though I know these shows very well, and I miss the musical cues, and I wish that they wouldn't have done that, I can tell you that if you're not familiar with them and you watch them, you'll love it. You won't even notice that anything is missing. It's really annoying. I hope they restore them the proper way someday, but they're still highly watchable anyway, you know, and you're not really going to know the difference. So, there you go. It's 5 seasons of The Odd Couple. Okay, the last item I have here, a couple of them, really, 2 shows. First, we have Happy Days, complete first season. I mean, I loved Happy Days when it started, the iconic character of the Fonz by Henry Winkler. And at first, it was like a lighter version of the motion picture American Graffiti, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And they were really on the right path. But then, of course, it got sillier and sillier. I found that I was able to get season 2. And I was able to get season 3, but things started to get really stupid. And of course, we all know where the expression "jump the shark" came from. It came from an episode where Fonzie jumps over a shark with his motorcycle. And I could really only take 4 seasons of this. I don't need anything past that. But there was also a spin-off show, Laverne and Shirley. And I managed to get 3 seasons of this because I was at a flea market and these were like really ridiculously cheap. So here's season 1 of Laverne and Shirley. I don't think I need to do the whole run. Season 2, Laverne and Shirley. These funny women, they're kind of like Lucy and Ethel and I Love Lucy, I think. And season 3. Anyway, as far as I can see, folks, that is what I have. I know there was some stuff missing, like I said, the Popeye the Sailor cartoons, black and white, first season, so to speak, I have somewhere. And that's it. So thank you. I hope you'll continue to watch my channel if you enjoyed this, and take care of yourselves.